Welcome to Hashtag Gen Z. I'm your host, Megan Grace. Hashtag Gen Z is a podcast about, as you guessed it, Generation Z, the generation of young people born between 1995 and 2010. It's about who they are, what they believe in, why they do what they do, and what makes them different than any other generation. Welcome back to the two-part series on microgenerations. Again, a microgeneration is a smaller grouping within a larger generational cohort, typically comprised of cuspers, those who are the very oldest or the very youngest in a generation. Corey and I use the term Big Zs to describe the oldest microgeneration within Generation Z, those who are typically about 20 to 23 right now, and Little Zs for the youngest, those who are about 8 to 10. In the last episode, I chatted with Jeff, Nika, and Xavier, three Big Zs who shared their viewpoints on technology, communication, their careers, and concerns. In this episode, my panel of guests consists of Lucas, Lauren, and Jackson, three Little Zs and their parents who spent some time with me after school chatting about very similar topics that I did with the Big Zs. While we didn't talk too much about their future careers, we did talk about some other really interesting topics, and I'm excited to share it with you. Well, thank you everybody for joining me today. I'm really excited. I've got a wonderful panel of Little Zs. That's our youngest of members of Generation Z. And I've got Jackson, Lucas, and Lauren online today chatting with us and are willing to share some of their perspectives, everybody today. So I would love to turn it over to my wonderful panelists, and they're going to introduce themselves. So who wants to go first?
Me.
Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Jackson, and I'm 10 years old, and I'm in the 5th grade.
Awesome. Thanks, Jackson. Thanks for hanging out with us today.
I'm Lauren, and I'm 9 years old, and I'm in the 4th grade.
Awesome. Thanks, Lauren.
Hi, I'm Lucas. I'm 8 years old, and I'm in 3rd grade.
Well, thank you, Lucas. Thanks. I'm so excited to have you, all three of you here today and hanging out with me. I know you could be out doing some other stuff, riding bikes outside, playing video games, but I'm thankful that you are here to chat with me and share with some of my listeners and chat about some cool stuff. So we're going to dive right in. So we're going to start and kick it off with technology. So I would love to know what kind of technology you like to utilize and what are some of the cool technology that your peers are using. So, if you're a big fan of using your iPad or you like to video game, what are the technology that you're using?
Xbox and PS4 for video games.
Cool, okay.
Chromebooks at school for all of our online learning.
So you've got Chromebooks you're utilizing at school. When did you first get your first laptop or Chromebook?
3rd or 4th grade.
So Lucas, you are probably also using a Chromebook now in 3rd grade?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. What other technology do you utilize? Are you guys using iPads, tablets? I know you said you're using laptops. Would you ever use a desktop computer? No? Have any of you ever used a desktop computer?
Me and him used a desktop computer for a Minecraft camp we did over the summer. It was 10 kids in a room, and we all played Minecraft.
Okay. Lauren, have you ever used a desktop computer?
No.
Do you even have one at home?
No, I don't think so.
Do you have one at the library at school or anything?
I think we do.
You think you do? What kind of technology do you use for school?
We use laptops.
So you've got Chromebooks too? I'm going to tell you something. When I was in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, we do everything on paper.
We still
Right?
do a lot on paper.
You're still using paper. I'm glad they haven't. We did that
Last
one
year,
out.
all of 5th grade, they took their entire TCAP on computers, and it lagged out. So some kids didn't have to take the TCAP tests. But this year, it's only going to be science. Everything else is going to be paper again.
So you're going back old school for your standardized tests, huh? Lucas,
Yeah.
What kind of technology do you use? So you said you use a Chromebook. Your brother's using some gaming systems. Anything else that we missed? Any hot technology we might have missed?
An Xbox.
You're on the Xbox too? Awesome. What about your peers? Are there any other cool technology that your friends are using at school that we haven't covered yet?
iPads and Kindles.
Yeah.
iPads and Kindles. What are you all using iPads and Kindles for?
We use iPads for QR scanners for question cards that we have at school.
Okay.
Me and my brother play games on our Kindles.
Awesome. So entertainment and you're learning on these devices. All right. So that's kind of related. How do you like to communicate with other people? So maybe that's with your parents or maybe it's with your friends. How do you communicate with other people?
Me and my brother don't have an iPad, or a phone, so we normally talk to each other using our mouths and our own words, not texting.
Okay. So you like using face-to-face settings because right now you might not have a phone or a tablet. Lauren, what about you? Are you using just face-to-face, or how do you connect with your friends? How do you communicate with your friends?
Well, I usually can see them at school, and I have a little sister, and I just talk to her if I can't play or anything.
You just hang out with her. That's fun. Have you guys asked for your parents to get you a phone yet or a tablet yet?
I asked for an iPad for Christmas last year, and the year before I was really wanting a bike. This past year I got a bike instead.
Yeah,
That's
I
good.
want one, but I'm not going to get one until middle school.
Oh, so your parents have put on like rules or ages in which you're going to get your first devices?
Yes.
Are you able to share what age you're allowed to get your first device?
They say either middle school or high school.
Middle school or high school? Lauren, what about you?
Mine's probably either when I start babysitting or middle school.
Oh, babysitting. That's a good one. Yeah, because you might need to call somebody's parents, right? Awesome. I think I got my first cell phone when I was in 9th grade because I was going to the formal. I was going to a dance, and so my parents were concerned. That's how I got my first cell phone. But we definitely did not have touch screens. And do you all know what T9 texting is? Probably not. We had to push all these buttons. Like we had to push a certain button a certain amount of times to like get a letter to pop up.
That if you wanted to type C, you had to press the number 1 3 times just to get the one letter C.
Yep, you're right. We had to go to great lengths to text our friends. I will say that. Okay, so I would love to know, what do you want to be when you grow up? Like what kind of jobs do you want to have when you get older? Say maybe when you graduate and decide to get a full-time job, what kind of jobs do you want?
I kind of want to be an elementary school librarian because
Okay.
I love books.
You love books. That's great. Never let that love of books go away.
I want to be an artist.
You want to be an artist. Why do you want to be an artist?
I just do.
You just do. Do you like making art? What kind of art do you like?
I like drawing, painting.
Painting. Awesome. Lauren, what do you want to be when you grow up?
I haven't decided yet.
That's okay. You don't have to. What are some of the things that about a job that you might be interested in? Like, what do you like doing and can see yourself doing in the future? I know you got a lot of time to figure it out, so no pressure.
I like doing science.
You like doing science. What do you have a specific kind of science you like?
Like, no.
Just all the science, just inquiry of the cool things. That's awesome. Well, I'm excited. Hopefully I can still hear and be in touch with you all and figure out when you get to that age, becoming a librarian or an artist or a scientist, that you are aspiring towards those things. I think all of those 3 things sound really cool, and we need people to create good art. We need people to manage the books and the learning that takes place in schools, and we definitely need scientists. So stick to it, because I think those are all really great options. So this is an interesting one. Hopefully you don't have too many worries, but what are some of the things that you might worry about?
Not getting the newest gaming system, and then like the cool kids who got it like making fun of me because I still haven't gotten an Xbox One yet. Everybody else hasn't the newest Xbox Ones.
Okay, so keeping up with technology with your peers. Okay.
Me getting really low scores on tests.
Okay, so you're concerned about, scores on tests. Why are you concerned about scores on tests?
I just like having big scores because it would be better for me, I think.
So you think having good scores. So higher scores are better. What about you, Lauren? What are some of the things that you worry about?
It's kind of like his. Well, all my friends could get higher scores than me, and I could just be the lowest person, and I feel like not that I did a good job.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that you all are doing really wonderful, and scores are important, but also make sure that you enjoy finding something you love learning about too. That's also great. Scores are good, but make sure you find something you love learning about. Art, science, all those great things. So I would love to know, when you're not in school and you're not hanging out with friends and family, what are some of the things that you do to fill your time? What do you do for fun and entertainment?
Sometimes I read and sometimes I play video games.
I usually like to do sports a lot. So, yeah, I like to do sports and sometimes read.
What kind of sports are you playing?
I'm playing, I want to play lacrosse. I'm playing tennis. I'm doing gymnastics, and I'm doing volleyball.
You stay so busy. That sounds like a lot of energy. I hope that you enjoy all your time doing that. So you both mentioned books. Lucas, what do you like doing? What do you like doing when you're not hanging out with family, friends, or at school?
If I don't have a baseball game or something like that, pretty much reading also.
There seems to be a trend that you all enjoy reading. What are some of the cool books or series of books that are popular? Maybe you like it or all the kids at school are reading it.
Harry Potter.
Yeah, me too. I love Harry Potter.
I finished the Harry Potter series in 3rd grade, and now everybody's starting to read them.
Oh, you were just a trendsetter, huh?
I started it in 2nd grade. I read the first book and a half, but then I reread the first book, and then I restarted the 2nd book.
Okay, so Harry's still cool. I love that. Are there any other book series that that you're really enjoying, or a book that you think like other people are finding really cool right now?
There's the series of Unfortunate Events.
Okay.
My friends are reading together, so we get books from the library and we check them out. And so my friends, there's each 2 books, and so they read it together and they can turn it in together.
So like a little book club almost, you and a friend are going to read book 1 together. That's awesome. Lucas, any books that you're really jamming out about right now?
I don't know what the series is, but I like these kinds.
Okay, Magisterium. I've not heard of this. I will put it on my list. It looks very cool and like there's magic going on. So I will put it on my list.
The first book is the Copper Gauntlet, and then there's the Iron Trial.
No, it's the Iron Trial and the Copper Gauntlet.
I'm gonna have to add these to my list. He
was just reading the Copper Gauntlet, so I thought it was first.
Oh, okay. So books are still cool, and it sounds like Harry's still cool, and Series of Unfortunate Events is still cool. So you know that Harry Potter had like a few movies that came out, right? Have you all seen those movies yet?
I own the first 3, and I've only watched the first one because I get scared really easily, and I didn't want to watch the second movie. I don't. And my brother really, 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 really wants to watch the 3rd movie.
I will say they're fine pieces of cinema, and I would suggest them when you're not feeling potentially scared. So I would suggest it. And Lauren, since you're a Series of Unfortunate Events fan, did you know that they created a Netflix series of Series of Unfortunate Events? One day, when you're up for it, you should definitely watch those if your parents will let you. I think that's pretty cool that your generation and your group of friends are still hanging out and reading books. That's awesome with all the technology you could be doing and working on with playing video games and reading stuff online. It's awesome you're still reading books. So I only have one more question for you. And I actually asked this of every one of my panelists and guests that I have on my podcast, which is, what are some of the coolest things about your peers in your generation? So think about the people that you go to school with, or that maybe through your sports and other activities you're doing. If you can think about your entire group of friends as one giant group, what are some of the coolest things about your peers and your friends?
A lot of them are really good at a sport or a video game, and some of them are even on travel teams for baseball.
That is pretty cool. So they're taking their activities pretty seriously, you would say?
Yes.
Awesome. Lucas, what do you think about some of your friends in your peer group? What makes them really awesome?
They're really good at baseball.
You got to keep good friends that are good at baseball. And Lauren, what do you think are some of the cool things about your friends?
That they can, like, let's say I had got a new friend, they could play with me and that new friend and make good friends with him.
So you'd say that your friends are really good at including other people? I think that's pretty awesome. So it sounds like you all have some very driven, very successful friends that are really nice and like including other people, which your friends sound pretty great if you ask me. Well, that is the end of my questions for you. I want to thank you for sharing your experiences, kind of talking about what your life is like as a young member of Generation Z. Do you have any questions for me before we say see you later?
What is your favorite book series?
My favorite book series? Well, I'm going to tell you how old I am. When I was in 2nd grade is when Harry Potter came out. So it's been a while. So I'm a big fan of Harry Potter. Big fan of Harry. Oh, I also really liked The Hunger Games. Did you all read The Hunger Games?
No, but my mom has.
It's pretty good. Maybe one day you'll get there. It's a good one. Let's see, what are some of my other ones? I read a few of the series of unfortunate events. I did not get through all of them. So Lauren, you'll have to give me your suggestion of that. I would say Harry is pretty high up there. And then now I'm still in school. So I'm in college again. And so I read a lot for school. I read a lot of academic work now. So I don't get to read for fun as much anymore, but hopefully soon I'll get back to it.
What technologies do you and your peers use?
Oh, are we going to just turn this interview around on me? All right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. So I use my cell phone a lot. I use it for work a lot. So I text a lot of people. But I also use my laptop a lot because I send a lot of emails, which I hope you're not sending emails because it's not necessarily the most fun. But I use my laptop a lot. And I recently just got an iPad so I can read a little bit more and take my books with me a little bit easier when I travel and do stuff like that. So I would say that I use my phone the most, and then my laptop, and then my iPad. Okay. What else? Any other questions?
The one that we didn't answer from the podcast.
The one you didn't answer from the podcast?
No, the one that you didn't answer.
Oh, that I haven't answered yet. Let's see. I asked you, what do I worry about most?
Yes, what do you worry about most?
I worry about, sometimes I think our world, we don't think about other people enough. I'm not saying you all don't. I think sometimes that we could all focus on caring about people and being intentionally friendly to people and taking care of our neighbors and being just nice to everyday people. Sometimes I worry we don't do that enough.
My mom agrees with that.
Your mom agrees? Good.
Yeah.
I think we all can worry about that a little bit more, huh?
Yeah. I have a question. Do you have
I do have a cat, and she's so nosy when I have to do calls like this.
We just saw.
I know. She likes to be a part of episodes, and I have to edit her out sometimes because she just thinks she's supposed to be on the podcast, and she's not. Oh, so you can hear her jumping. Well, before we go, any other questions?
We have a neighborhood cat that looks exactly like your cat, and his name is Norm, and he climbs around on our fences and tries to get into our house.
Norm sounds like he's full of mischief. I would say that my cat's name is Waffles, and she also has some mischief in her. So I feel like Waffles and Norm should never meet because they would just cause trouble.
Yeah.
Probably. Well, Lucas, Jackson, Lauren, you all have been so wonderful, and I thank you for giving up some of your afternoon when you could have been playing video games or reading those awesome books to hang out and share some of your experiences. So I'm going to say thank you so much again, and I appreciate you. So hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Bye.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye. See y'all later. I want to extend another thank you to the little Z's and their parents for spending some time with me and chatting about things. While the life experiences and vantage points of the little Z's is very different than the big Z's, you can start to hear that there are some similar perspectives between the two. While the big Z's are concerned about making big life decisions and focusing on their careers, the little Z's are still concerned about being good enough, whether that be at school or in baseball or their after-school activities. And what struck me most was how both groups answered the question about their favorite thing about their Gen Z peers. The big Z's and the little Z's, while in very different words, recognize their peers' motivation, drive, and inclusive behaviors. I can't wait to continue to learn more about microgenerations and understanding the cultures and connections that exist even within a larger generational cohort. Thank you for tuning into this episode. I hope you're enjoying your listening experience so far. And if you are, you can head over to your preferred podcast listening platform to rate, review, and subscribe to #GenZ. That way you'll never miss an episode, and your feedback can help other listeners enjoy it as well. If you have a question you'd like me to explore, a member of Generation Z you think I need to be talking to, or you just want to say hi, you can head over to my website, meganmgrace.com. Thanks again for hanging out. Let's continue this conversation, and we'll chat soon.